Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back to the Nashtea, your favorite Music City podcast. I am Allie and I'm here with Ty as always.
What up, what up?
We are excited to be talking some shit today.
Yeah.
As always. And we're going to discuss the little sub that couldn't. Oh God, is it too soon? I'm so sorry.
I'm so happy to be back.
He's been waiting for me to just be awful.
She's been okay. So to preface this story, Allie about a month and some change ago decides to take off on this giant ass cruise ship. On an Alaska cruise, like this amazing.
My family, they're amazing.
Yeah, it was
just a
awesome.
trip of a lifetime, honestly. Like I never would have been able to do that without them. So I'm incredibly thankful. When I first moved to Nashville, I didn't even realize I had family here.
Yeah,
and then they went to visit. It's my cousin, and he's my grandma's age. They grew up together, and they were just passing through visiting my grandmother one day. And on their way to a different cruise, this was years ago, and they were like, "Oh, why do you have that shrine to Nashville on your wall?" And she said, "Oh, that's my granddaughter. She lives in Nashville." And they were like, "Nellie, we live in Brentwood, which is like 10 minutes away from Nashville." And she was like, "Oh," which like she never really realized.
People live.
Yeah, exactly. Long story short, we ended up getting really close, and I was so thankful because they are just all like super welcoming. We had family dinners on the weekends, and so when they pitched this to us last year, like, "Oh, do you think you'd want to go?" "What do you mean? Of course. Like, let's go. Let's do this." So we're just really happy that we got to do that. But while we were on the boat, all this stuff was happening with the Oceangate submersibles. Did you see the video of the vlogger?
No.
We'll get into that. But I know like Mr. Beast was invited to go at some point, but there was a different kid. I shouldn't call him a kid. He's like an adult, but he's a young adult. And he's the one that does all like the scuba diving videos on YouTube. And I think he goes in rivers and streams and stuff like that, not just in the ocean. So like Nantahala River, when people go rafting, they lose shit all the time.
Oh yes, I have seen that. So he finds like iPhones and things like that.
He's found Civil War relics. He's found,
that's awesome.
GoPros and iPhones, like you said. So, he got invited to go on mission 3. And so he vlogged the whole thing and posted it recently. And it was so well done. It was so respectful towards the people that were lost. Obviously, Stockton was there because it was his expedition, but Pierre was there as well. So, you've got like just these people who have put in the time and the experience and everything. And it was really well done.
So you kind of get to relive what they just did.
So he starts at the beginning, like they're traveling to Newfoundland and then where they stayed, and they had this wreath made with like seashells and conchs and for the people that were lost in the Titanic. And so they went out and they got to go on the boat. Of course, you're on the expedition for 5 days. So he vlogged his whole time on the boat, and, his girlfriend was with him, and they showed the living quarters and, the Titan submersible being towed behind the boat, and all the crew that was on the boat. Like, everyone was just super nice, super friendly. They showed, like, the meetings where Stockton was talking about, some of the challenges that they were facing and why they weren't able to go down that day. And then finally at like the very end, they were like, "Well, we're not going to be able to drop to depth, but we are going to be able to go in the submersible if you want to come." I guess somebody gave them their ticket or something like that to actually, or not ticket, but seat, because you can only fit so many people in there. Right. And so he went on it, and they bolted him in, and he videoed the whole thing of them getting bolted in, and like the little toilet in the front. And
can I tell you something though?
Yeah,
that's where you lose. That's where you lose me. Like the moment they're like, "Okay, so we're gonna put you in there, and then what we're gonna do next is we're gonna close it, and then we have to have these giant drills that screw these ginormous screws and we're going to bolt you in there. Okay. So when you come back up, you got to wait for us to get to you and then unbolt the, you lost me already. Like, I'm like, you can go f- yourself. You want to put me in a coffin and drop me to the bottom of the ocean.
It's not happening.
With failed Boeing parts.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, that's what you want to do? I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. So where were you when you first heard about it?
Okay. So I don't remember where I was when I first heard about it, but I'm pretty sure it was like either the day or two before I was to fly up to New York.
Yeah.
So I was going up for my nephew's elementary graduation. So when I saw the news of it and they went, there's a missing submersible. And initially I was like, well, they'll find it because
of course
this isn't like MH370 where an airliner goes miss. Like people knew from the ship they were in contact, so they'd know at least the area of where they were. I'm like, they'll find them.
Yeah, it was the same
one way or another. Day 2 rolled around and I was like, they're dead. Like, they're gone. Because there's no way you lock somebody in that thing and then they're lost for 24 hours at that depth.
What if a current
at
grabs
13,000
feet? Yeah, that's crazy to me. And you can't see anything. I mean,
like 13,000 feet is where you
out.
jump out of an airplane. You're that far below the water.
Yeah. Yep. I don't think people realize how deep it is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I appreciated it either, really, until MH370 went missing and they were talking about the Mariana or the trenches.
The Marianas, yeah.
And they were
Challenger
explaining,
Deep
they were
down,
showing it with using the Empire State Building and how many of those it would take stacked on top of each other. And that's when it first kind of hit me.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we knew the ocean's deep, but I mean, to put it into layman's terms like that and go, holy balls, they were 13,000 feet underneath the ocean in failed Boeing parts that they bought at half price because they hadn't passed the inspection for Boeing airplanes. They weren't good enough to go up in the air, but we're going to put it down at the highest pressures.
And also, like, you have different coefficients of materials that don't go together, and then you're putting immense amounts of pressure on them. Like, that just doesn't work in any capacity. Like, I don't understand why they would have thought that was a good idea.
So I think I was on the flight getting ready to go to New York when that happened because all I could think about was, oh my God, Allie and Travis are stuck on a cruise ship watching these people be lost under the water.
Well, it's funny because
what was that like?
We were in a room where we've never been on a princess cruise before, and we enjoyed our experience, but it was a little bit different than we were initially thinking it was going to be. And one of the things was just like the differences in entertainment. And so our room, like, it's got a few shows on it. Honestly, we watched a lot of Cheers, which was great.
Nice.
I love Ted Danson so much.
I love Cheers too. We were watching that too, I think, while you guys were going.
Yeah, isn't that's so funny? Oh my, it's so good, isn't it? So anyway, we watched a lot of those types of shows that were preloaded onto the, stateroom television. But other than that, you pretty much just got like the bridge cam, some preloaded shows, the news, and a couple other things. So we watched a lot of the news because this was everything that was going on. And it got to the point where it was just like, oh my gosh, like, what's happening now? Like, we have to turn on the news and see. And, we're cruising through Alaska. So as much as there are lots of beautiful things to look at, there was also a lot of downtime because, it's cold out. I mean, the weather was absolutely beautiful. But when the ship's moving, you're going 22 knots or whatever. No, it was probably more like 18. But it was still like super, super windy. And we're on the 16th deck. So we're like, all right, we're going to take a little breather and go check the news. And so it became like this saga of trying to follow what was happening. And you guys were the same way.
You guys are at sea.
We're at sea.
So,
so the visualization of that was a little bit more real. I was like,
I can't imagine.
No. And here's the thing. I love the ocean. I absolutely adore snorkeling. I've never been scuba diving, and I'm not going to say like never say never. I do think that I would have some sort of anxiety to overcome just because you're putting yourself in a situation that your body isn't like naturally supposed to be in. But I think it'd be worth it to see, what's down there, but only to like 30 feet. I'm not
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
go like, are you kidding me? Like, show me a shipwreck that's like right there. I can see it without the goggles, and then I'll be good.
Have you watched Hunter Killer?
No.
It's with Gerard Butler, but he's like a
Ooh.
submarine captain, and the whole thing. The graphics are awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm holding my breath from the moment they go down there and close that hatch.
Oh, absolutely not.
I just don't get it.
Yeah. And then there were like news people that were coming out and speculating that Stockton probably told them to go to sleep, because explorers know, and PH would have said the same thing, because like he's been down there countless times, that when you sleep, everything slows down in your body and it conserves oxygen.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
So, and it was just so funny, because here we are like cruising on a boat in the middle of the ocean, and who are we with? Like retired defense folks who have spent time on on various vessels that I will not mention.
Yeah.
But it was funny because, you know, we'd go to dinner and we'd be like, okay, here's what's going on now. And then we'd be like, oh, yeah, they're going to suffocate down there. Like super matter of fact. And, you know, he's going through like all the mechanics of it. And it's just fascinating to hear. And then we'd hear the same thing like from the Coast Guard later on,
right.
on the news. And we're like, haha, we already knew that. We're smarter than you. No, but it was crazy. And then, of course, ultimately, like super sad once it got to be Thursday.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, yeah, we found the parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, like, we had a feeling, because that Coast Guard guy that came out.
Yeah. Oh, he knew. He knew.
Okay, well, obviously he knew, but also he had no poker face at all.
Yeah, I know.
They should have sent someone else.
That's
out.
what I mean. Like he was just like, I can't even lie.
He's like, we're gonna continue to look as long as there's hope. We'll search for these folks. Meanwhile, his
not
face
saying that there
like,
is any, but you know,
they're fucking gone. We found a debris field, and I just can't tell you because of national security or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. So you wouldn't do it?
No, hell no.
Yeah, me neither.
No, like, I mean, first of all, billionaires are such assholes. I mean, not all of them, but the majority of them are such assholes. And
you know how I feel about that.
Yeah, and I just think that the arrogance that like you can skirt all of the all
rules
of the prerequisites that everybody else has to go through just because you're rich and you can build it. It's like it's to me it's like and I'm not knocking Elon Musk or SpaceX, because I think that no because that's one things I think that he has done well, because I think when NASA starts going to the moon, they need the private sector to be able to they can go so much faster and advance so much faster, because they don't have to deal with red tape like the government does. Whereas the private sector can, but then you have instances like this that show you exactly why these motherfuckers need to be regulated just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why. I mean, at the time that this was happening, first of all, like Russia and Ukraine are on the border of like bringing us into the conflict. So that's huge. Then you got the wildfires from Canada that are turning New York orange. And it looks like an apocalypse. And we're all glued to the TV like, look at these 5 billionaires that went down into a tub.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, 551 people just sank the day, like 2 days before.
Yeah.
I'm like, nobody gives a about them. And they're like, well, they were migrants like trying to
yeah.
Are you serious?
It's absolutely insane to me. Like, again, it just
551 and 5.
Yeah.
And we are just like, we cannot get enough of the, and it's like, you know, you wanted a firsthand experience of the Titanic and you got it, baby. Like you got
I know.
You got the most realistic experience of all.
On top of that, you know, not that I would ever, ever, ever wish any harm on anyone.
And I don't mean that. I just.
But like, damn.
But yeah.
Like, what a way to go. Like, instantly, painlessly, and just done. Like, your pain receptors don't even recognize what's happening to you before you're already goo. Like, that's insane. That, like, I cannot even. My brain cannot compute Does not compute.
But
Error.
the death is instantaneous.
Yeah.
But how long did they know that they were lost?
That's true. Yeah. Because there was different reports of like the banging sounds. Were they man-made? Were they organic?
Right.
You know, that signature, that marker that was consistent with an implosion and what that entailed. Like I would be curious to be a fly on the wall in some of the debriefings.
Now I'm saying that like I'm yelling from a soapbox and I'm like, there's 551 migrants. Meanwhile, I was like, what, did they find it yet? How much time is left and how much oxygen do they have left?
What are their resources?
If each one of them holds their breath for 30 seconds, how much longer would that give them? Like, I mean, I was glued to it too, so.
Well, then, okay, so this vlog that I was telling you about, this guy ends up going on the Titan submersible.
Yeah.
The same one. They end up obviously not going down because there's issues. And that was, I mean, if they had, that would have been him. So that's crazy. So like the whole video, he's very like reverent about that. And it's just a really interesting kind of perspective to see. But he brought food with him, right? His girlfriend packed him 3 big chocolate chip cookies and 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And he ate everything but 1 cookie before he got on the sub. So, because you have to get weighed with everything that you go on this vessel with. And so if I'm just thinking, okay, well, even if you had practiced some restraint and you didn't eat those 2 sandwiches and 3 cookies, how long is that really going to last you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know your body can handle it, but what is the mental load of we're bolted in, we're stuck at this depth, we have no food, we have no water.
Freezing down here.
We have the poop behind
next
a curtain.
to each other. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Excuse me, Charles, I need to shit. Can you scoot over 2 inches?
Also, I mean, it just seems like if you want adventure, there's a lot of things you could do. You just couldn't pay me enough money to do that.
Well, you know, like when you go on a flight, let's say, you trust that the airlines have gone through every single before that plane is even allowed on the tarmac. It has to go through countless amount of tests, and then once it's on the tarmac and the pilot's in there, they have to go through every single list one by one and make sure that everything is perfect, right? So first of all, they started with failed Boeing airplane part. I can't get over that, but I understand like, okay, so the fiberglass can be cheaper because it failed that, but it's still, you know, tough enough that it could handle the pressure. So yeah, of course we're going to pay half off, you know? Yeah. I get that concept and I get I get some cutting corners, and then it's like, we're going to use a video game controller.
That blew my mind.
All right. We all grew up playing video games, okay? And most of us had wireless controllers, and most of us know how many times those things go out.
Yep.
Like, how many times just something for no reason whatsoever, even if the batteries are working, it's dead now.
It's done.
And I don't care if you have 13 video game controllers in there. Nope. You're operating this thing with a video game controller. That's number 2.
Yeah.
Number 3 was that they didn't pass any of the tests. Like,
no.
I don't.
Yeah. Also, can we just take a quick moment to admire the juxtaposition of this gorgeous ship, this beautiful disaster that happened, this graveyard for, you know, tons of people, that it was just like horrific and sad and like just truly awful.
Yeah.
And then now there's a freaking Nintendo controller down there. Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, we just, as humans, we just have to put our shit in everything.
Do you think it's karma? Do you think it's karma because the rich people got off the Titanic first?
Oh my God.
And so it's like, all right, well,
that's pretty crazy.
We've done back then, so we'll trade you 5 billionaires.
We gonna get you.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, everything. I truly do believe that things can come back around, and you know, you put out into this world, and you're probably gonna get some of that back. So you better be putting good things out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's sad to think about, and we really do like want to be respectful. Probably hasn't really sounded like it up until then, but let's be honest. I mean, they made choices, and everyone that went on to that vessel knew what they were getting to. Besides the kid, I do feel bad about that because, you know, his family coming out and saying that he didn't even want to go. That broke my heart.
It's hard because there was another kid who convinced his dad not to go. They're the ones who took their place.
What?
Oh, you didn't know that part?
I didn't know that part.
So the people, the young kid that was on there who didn't want to go.
Oh my God.
There was another kid who was like 17 years old. He was younger though. He was like in that range.
Semantics.
And he did his own investigation. A 17-year-old kid knew that a video game controller and failed Boeing parts was enough for him to plead with his dad and be like, please, I don't have a good feeling about this. To the point where who's the Stockton?
Stockton, yeah.
Flew out to them, met with them, took them out to this fancy dinner, begged them that it was secure and it was safe, and he understood their concerns, but that, you know, they'd done all of the testing that they felt they needed to feel comfortable enough to go down there.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, this guy said, I listened to my son. The son goes, one kid begged his dad not to go and we're alive, and one kid begged his dad not to go and they're gone.
Wow.
And he's like, there's no way I can't live with that for the rest of my life. You know? And
that's insane.
Isn't
I had
that crazy?
no idea.
I know.
But, and you know, you think about some of the things that they put out on their socials, and you had to have known. I mean, I didn't even know that they existed before this incident.
Yeah,
so,
same here.
I mean, bad press is still press. I mean, I don't know. But some of the videos.
Well, it didn't hurt also that, you know, that Stockton's son's out there at a Blink-182 concert. You know?
I don't know if it was. I think it was one of the Billy. Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah. But yeah, that was a whole other thing. I mean, we are a music podcast. I guess I should have probably brought that up first. But
all
Blink-182,
small things.
Say it ain't so. Okay, that was too far. But this waiver that they have to sign,
that's in there.
It's in there.
Right.
It's experimental 3 times.
You could die.
Death.
You could die.
Multiple times.
3 times.
Serious injury or bodily harm multiple times.
Yeah.
Mental repercussions.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trapped. You're bolted in a small space. I bet you there are freaking like big army dudes that would break in a situation like that. Like, I mean, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. No, I would rather. I had this conversation the other day. If it came down to it, like I have no urge to jump out of a plane. Like it's just not my jam. But I love heights, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. Like, if somebody told me you either have to do A or B, and A was jump out of a plane, and B was go cave diving, I would say, put me in the plane.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yep.
Because I don't.
Not into
underground.
spelunking?
No, absolutely not. I won't even do like the super touristy, like uplighting, you know, explore Ruby Caves, all this stuff. No, not happening. Not happening here. I can't do it.
I took my dog to the park the other day.
Yeah.
This lady's like, careful. Saw a baby cottonmouth up there.
Stop it. The little yellow tail. That's how you know they're real bad.
Yeah,
like they're small.
see, I didn't know. Like, I don't think I'd ever seen a baby cottonmouth, but I was just like, oh, thanks for letting us know. So we're gonna get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And my nephew's in the water, and I'm like, why don't you get out of the water, bud? And I kid you not, he screams, and like a high pitched scream. I'm like, dude, don't do that. That's embarrassing. You know, there's other people here. I'm like, get out of the water. Get out of the water. He's like, snake. And I look down. I'm like, it's a stick or something.
Yeah.
And we looked down, and Cottonmouth had like floated down and was like right under this like tree. And I
Nope, I can't do it. I cannot do it. And here's the thing: when I first moved,
My point
to
is,
town,
like, I won't even go there anymore.
No.
Like, just because of that one snake, I'm done. I'm like, you lost me. I'm
Can
sorry.
you imagine what is underground? In my geology class in college, we learned about the different layers of the earth. We learned about like all these different things and parts of the crust, blah, 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 all this stuff. So I will never forget this. We talked about the great extinction, whatever happened, bang, bang, boom. You can see it in the layers of the earth. Like it's been studied that there were small rodents that thrived during that period because they were able to burrow under the surface. And because of their capabilities to do that, they were able to outlive everybody else. So can you imagine, same goes for sea animals, of course, because they, but can you imagine what is living in those caves? I'm sorry. Call me a conspiracy theorist. Call me whatever you want. Call me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, it sounds crazy, but there are weirder things. Have you seen an anglerfish at the bottom of the ocean?
I know.
What if somebody brought that up in the 17th century and said, "Oh, look at what I found."
It's an alien.
I'd be like, what the is that? Yeah. Like, can you imagine what is? Yeah, no, it's not happening. That's gonna be a no for me, dog. No caves.
Do you know some like good news that I heard?
What?
You know how hot it's been getting?
Yeah.
How was Glacier Bay, by the way? I'm sorry. Sorry.
That is a touchy subject.
Damn, I came in here all positive and like I realized how negative I am like off the bat.
Glacier
First
Bay.
of all, we're all really sorry about all of the souls, the migrants and the billionaires and anybody that died at all. I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean,
I just did a blanket. Like anybody
that died
up until this second right now, we're sorry for everybody that's died.
We are sorry for your loss. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a sensitive subject, but obviously there is respect there for the people that have passed.
For sure.
We're just assessing the situation and saying why we would never do it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Casual,
So fiberglass body, the fact that you're bolted in there, and a video game controller would be our top three, probably.
That's yeah. I'm good. I'm good on that. Like go on a glass bottom boat, go to the Bahamas.
That would be cool.
Get you a little glass kayak or something like that, and explore that. I mean, there's so many parts of this world. You mean to tell me that those people on that boat had seen so much else of this earth that they decided that this was an absolute priority?
Right.
You mean to tell me you've seen every corner of every country? I didn't even know that Alaska existed before. No, I'm just kidding. But
I know what you mean, though.
You
don't think about it because
you don't know what you don't know.
That's right.
And so you go and you're like, oh, damn, like I need to try. I literally left, came back and was like, should I book another flight somewhere else? Because I got the bug now. I want to see more.
I think my question is why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, why?
I know.
Well, because the Titanic. Well, that's great. There was a movie made about it that was amazing.
Yeah, and James Cameron went down
James
33
Cameron
times.
went down there and made documentaries, so you can watch it on IMAX.
Those. Yeah.
Like, why do you need to go down there just to say that you did? Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
Because you can go up to Gatlinburg and they have half of the Titanic right there, and for $30. You can see what it actually looks like.
Oh my God, that's great.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Come to Pigeon Forge. It's
Just go to Pigeon Forge.
Yeah.
$30.
Right
you can
here.
actually walk on the Titanic.
You can walk on the Titanic. Go to the Upside Down House while you're there.
Oh my God. Did you go in there?
Yeah.
I've never been in there. I want to every time I pass it.
The guy that like started that whole thing wanted to invest in me when I first started. He was like going to buy me a bus and everything. I just put his mic down and walked away. You know why I said no?
Why?
Because I didn't want to play festivals. I was such a diva. I'm such a spoiled brat. But, I don't know. Could you imagine me playing a NASCAR festival?
I mean,
how y'all do it? No, they'd be like, "Who is this lady? Why is she trying to sing us ballads? We want to hear a song about beer."
So
that's a whole other hole we'll go down, but it won't be today because we have come to the end of our journey, and we are glad it's not a the bottom of the sea.
I was gonna
take
say that.
out. I'm gonna take that out.
I was gonna
That's
say
too
that.
far. Oh my god!
You said we've come to the end of our journey, and I was like, as did Titan.
Oh jeez!
R.I.P..
Oh my gosh! Well, you know what?
Under the sea, under the sea, under the sea, under the sea.
We're gonna be demonetized.
Love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Make sure you let us know how you feel because we know you guys have probably just as strong opinions as we do. So we want to hear all about it. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Peace.
Oh, wait.
Wait.
No! We just flipped. Go back. Go back. Say it again.
Oh, no. They're getting this. They're getting this. I say bye.
Peace.
Bye, guys.